we're in business. This feels a bit more premium, doesn't it?
That's a bit. Oh, I'm looking over higher. That's the shot. I was like, oh, that's all
Yeah,
socky.
so we've got...
That's nice, yeah.
Oh, the sock version.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
know,
though.
people always complain that I have dirty socks in my video.
Really?
And I say,
What you do?
you're missing the point if you're complaining about having dirty socks.
Yeah, that's what you picked up on.
People have said it a few times.
What? I can't
We're
even
including
think.
this, by the way.
Yeah.
This discussion.
It's if you are noticing dirty socks in one of your videos, you're like a super fan because you watched it enough times that you pick that up.
It's negative usually.
Oh.
It's a criticism in the sense of you should focus more on your laundry and less on your working out, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. For a start, they were clean in the morning. Then I'm getting down to business.
You're not putting on yesterday's socks.
No, I'm just getting down to business.
Yeah.
And there's dirt on my socks. Because I'm doing the thing.
Well, that's what it is. And maybe they're used to seeing the perfect person who's like taken 46 tries to get that one shot of his push-up and he's ironed his socks.
But if you're on
and that's just not real.
Certain floors will be dirty, so...
Well, I mean, just unless you've missed the point.
Yeah.
And then, but that's also a sign of like perfectionist world, right?
And excuses.
Yeah. Of like, well, you know, if he hasn't got the freshest trainers on, how is he possibly going to run? If he's not like, his hair isn't done, then he's not actually looking at how could he be a leader unless everything's perfect.
Yeah.
And who's that?
The other one I've noticed is one of the biggest videos that I posted was doing a workout in the kitchen. And you'll notice that there's a lot of content where I train in my kitchen, in the old house, which is where I used to train. And people would say, oh, I can't do that in my kitchen because of X, Y, Z. As a full excuse, it's like, this is not made for me.
The brilliant part is that they've taken the time to tell us that they don't have time to do the thing that we're trying to show that what we're doing. Oh, well, cool. What do you want me to do about it? Like, it's sort of like, if you've engaged in the content enough to like bother telling us why you can't do something, either just go and do something else, or maybe that's your invitation to go, oh, I'm making an excuse. But then who tells people, who tells you that you're making excuses? So if that was you put that comment on, like who goes, Jake, you're making excuses, unless you engage with a coach.
Yeah.
Like, is your partner or friends going to do that? Maybe? I don't know.
No, I think most of the messages people put on social media, no one else knows they're doing it either.
No, I'm going more like the deeper, like, if you're making excuses to not work out or not do the thing, who's going to call you on that in your life?
Probably no one.
Yeah. So we get away with it for years, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't have a kitchen or you don't have clean socks, you can't work out, isn't it? You can never exercise.
And if you have, what if you have dirty socks in a kitchen?
No kitchen and dirty socks.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I would not wish that up on my worst enemy.
Gosh, good luck to you all for...
So today, we are very jubilantly recording this in the new space.
Yeah.
Certainly not finished, but for all intents and purposes, this section is looking pretty nice with the couch in.
Lovely.
Got the surfboard here.
Authentic ripped, show vintage.
Authentic rip, yeah. Which, if anyone knows how to fix a significant rip in a sofa, I would absolutely love to help, because I've spoken to leather specialist across the road.
Right.
Spoken to a car trimmer, various upholsterers, and they're all telling me no. So if anyone knows, currently the best option we've got is to literally just put a leather patch over it and own it.
Can we actually record podcasts if we have rips on our sofas though? Do you know what I mean? I quite like it. I'm sitting on it.
But it'll just get worse, that's the problem.
Oh yeah, that will start to...
So we're thinking basically just put a patch over, own it. This is an old sofa, just like a patched up jean.
Yeah.
Old Levi's.
Perfect.
Tell a story, cool. How did that happen?
There you go.
I actually don't know, because I didn't have it when it happened.
We can make up a story there.
We can make a cool story.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in a new space. Sitting here is making me think, what's the privacy options for the windows? We definitely need we need some controllability. I don't think originally I was thinking some kind of film, but I actually think that's not a good idea because
Sometimes
there's
it's
no
nice
choice.
to have it, yeah.
And we want people to see what's going on in here in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
So maybe a double roller blind, one sheer, one blackout.
Yeah.
Because I think it's nice to have it dark for some certain
Yeah.
yoga classes and stuff, and we don't want to necessarily do the
100%.
shutter.
And you might want this one shut if we're doing stuff over here. And it's
Anyway.
cool. We're in the middle of Penzance. We've got a crystal it couldn't be more West Penwith. I can see a crystal shop and like a kind of funny jewelry piercing shop and an old leather makers. It's kind of sick. This is so
Something's
Cornwall.
going on there as well.
Which one?
In the Pearson, I think they're changing that. But yeah, we've got Hobbs Kitchen Shop next door. We've got Seven Stones down the way.
Oh, and what's the best shop on Causeway Head, Jake, that we just visited that saved our bacon? Jim's
Hardware.
So guys,
Truly legendary within Cornwall.
and I don't know if this exists in America where most of our folks live. It's been going forever, right? There's what, 3 maybe, I think, in Cornwall?
Oh yeah.
Gyms, like 3 shops.
Yeah, I think so.
2.
I actually
There's it small, but only in Cornwall.
Between you and me and the listeners, I actually researched into their business because I was very curious.
Right.
Because it's very, very successful.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a family business. It's moved through several generations, and I think it's just passed over to the youngest, the sons. So that's maybe why some of the changes they're making. Anyway,
but they sell everything
at all.
But it sells everything. It's super interesting. Blokes like hardware stores, typically.
We just bought a 4-point extension lead for only £3.75, which is less than $5.
And if we needed to, we could have also bought like a Halloween costume, some washing up liquid, and a bucket.
Yeah.
Plus a skateboard. Like it's everything.
It's true.
Anyway.
Yeah, guys do like those sort of shops.
I like them. Yeah.
That's why there's a few of them around. That's why they're so successful.
Big up gyms. All right. Should we get to it?
Yeah, and well, just to go a bit more into the space thing, just had a really interesting meeting this morning, which I told Joe about, and yeah, we did a lot of brainstorming and got some really exciting ideas. Obviously, there's the normal weekly business model. We're going to have our classes, we're going to have our open gym, we're going to have our like community focus, super positive, super inviting. But then we were also talking about the sort of more events stuff at the weekend. So. Is it a 3-hour thing where we meet here, we have a coffee, we go for a run, we've booked the sauna out for an hour, we come back, we do some strength, and we have a bit of brunch. So there's like super exciting things that we can do that really bring together lots of different stuff. And also speaking to a few guys about putting photography on the walls that they can sell, some cool local photographers, different art. So it's a really
It's exciting,
little
man.
thing.
I mean, it keeps coming up in conversations I'm having both locally and in the different men's circles and stuff about connection and how people just want to connect. Like post 2020, everyone just went back to their home office and everyone's on Zoom. And people are like, I kind of want to go back to an office now and have some daily contact. And I think that is what we're not in a working space, but the idea that you can come here and there's going to be people of a similar vibe doing stuff that is, I think people are going to love it.
100%.
And
there's always doubts, right, with a new business, but literally every single person that's come in, not people I even know, and they've heard about what this is, and they say this is going to be a massive success. So that fills me with hope because the people know as good as anyone, and obviously you can always make mistakes with how you run the business and the business model. Hopefully I'm confident I can get that down, and I've got enough people in my corner that I can lean on if I need help with that, but
I think
it's very exciting.
I think when you do something from with good intention, like you didn't go, right, I need to make loads more money. What's the bet? You're not opening. You wouldn't have done this. Exactly. It's like you want a place to work out. We needed a place to work. You wanted to meet other people that we could kind of vibe with and create something with. It's going to work, and it might take us a little while. But it's not like we're trying to sell people shit they don't want, So yeah, man, I'm excited.
There is obviously like a very diverse crowd of people here. There's in any place you live, there's split demographics, but there's a very clear demographic here of people across from any age, from 20 to 80, that are interested in well-being, but not necessarily in the traditional sense of just
Yeah.
grinding away in the gym, which
Yeah.
obviously there's nothing wrong with that at all. I like a bit of that once in a while too.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like a calling for that, and also a calling for places that are a bit different and considered, and there is a brand behind it in the community,
Some
because
thought. Yeah.
there's functional stuff here, but there's a lot of missed opportunity, I believe, in the sense of like, actually, what's the environment like? How does it feel? How is the brand? Like, what's the story? Lots of missed opportunities there.
I also think maybe we're gonna just meet people we would never meet. A bit like when we were working in that co-working space. We're like, where have you all been?
Exactly.
And they've all been here and there working in their bedrooms too. So like, imagine we're like, oh, there's this calisthenics guy up in Devon we'd like to meet. There's probably a dude in Newlyn that we just haven't seen. Or I've been past the gym, outdoor gym, and seen a bunch of guys earlier in the summer doing some pretty cool Cali stuff. And I was like, wow, where are they?
Yeah.
I've never seen them. Maybe they've driven, I don't know, but it's the thing, like we create a place. If you build Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come, right? If you build it here, people will come. You might, yeah.
Yeah.
So, man. And I was thinking, Jake, it was brilliant when I was watching you, the Unpack video with all the kit that, who sent us?
Movement Made.
Movement Made. Thank you, brother. And the kids, just selfishly, our kids, Axel and Avala, like matched energy. It's mental, right?
Yeah.
Hanging on the rings. Well, that's the dream. Finishing work, it's like, oh, we've done most of it. Let's just have a little kids workout. They'd be there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
It's like a,
And we can, that's even something we can actually facilitate. Talk.
Little kids.
I don't know if there's some kind of qualifications or legalities that you have to.
Not if there are kids, but yeah,
Well, to teach other children.
Of
I
course.
imagine there's like criminal record checks and stuff.
DBS. I've actually done mine for the men's work, so I'm good. But yeah, there's probably like specific,
criteria.
Yeah, definitely.
But it would be amazing to do that, because we do the world that we're in right now. I almost see like a split. Should we just stay on this topic? Should we just cruise today?
Yeah.
We did have a topic, but I think we might just cruise.
This feels alright.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So there's obviously what I see down here in terms of children, and I guess you see the same with adults as well. There's this one part of the population that's super dialed in on well-being. And yeah, maybe they go out for some drinks on the weekend, maybe they don't eat perfect, but there's a component of them where they know exercise, healthy eating, sleep is very important to them.
Yeah.
And I feel that's like rising from my age group, like from people like in their 30s, like in professional jobs, and there's a big awareness, and it's never been better than ever.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, the people that are not looking after themselves, like not eating junk food all the time, no exercise, a lot of like drugs and alcohol in whatever form, that's never been bigger either, which is shown in the fact that obesity numbers are higher than they've ever been. So I almost feel, whilst the I don't want to use the word bad because I don't want to label it so much, but the negative side of it that's causing lots of issues and health issues and obviously money for the services and all that, that's worse than ever. But there is also a section that's better than ever, which I think gets kind of like overlooked sometimes. But the middle, we're struggling with the middle ground and bringing people across. It's more of like a tale of two extremes, which I think exists in a lot of the global and national systems. There's extremes. Yeah,
interesting. So I think that there's a thanks for all of that, man. There's a lot in there. I think for me the piece is like, I was talking to a client the other day and he was like, when am I going to look like Jake? And he was kind of joking. And I was like, well, Jake's 6'3", 6'4",
6'2".
6'2", okay.
Thanks,
but you feel like you're 6'4". I'm 6'2". Maybe we're the same height. Anyway.
We are. We've done this before.
We have done it, yeah. Anyway, the point was, like, there's genetics.
There is.
Right, and your brother's the same, right? And then you guys were swimming aged like forward for 10 years, right? It is like how you were raised. Ate well. That's just how it is. A 5'8" guy, 5'10" guy will never look like you.
No.
And there's that piece, and then that can be a barrier to doing it. And this particular client, he's like kind of doing it, but he's like, I'm still not rich. I'm like, brother, you've been doing this for 2.5 months. This is a thing that that is going to take a long time to do, and you won't look like Jake or me or the next person. You won't look like that.
You could look better
You could
within your own criteria.
Yes. What is a really ripped, healthy 5'9" guy look like? Let's find one. There's definitely some.
I'll tell you a good
And also then, like, why am I trying to look like him? That fighter, that football player, that tennis. It's like.
What was your link with what I was saying with that comment?
With that is like we have the people that don't do anything, that are not eating well, that are slobby. Then you've got the high achiever guys, or the people that are running the marathon and working out and swimming and eating good. And then that middle ground, they might have a run every now and again. They might do some weights in the bedroom, but they're like, I'm never going to look like him or that thing I've seen on Instagram or that this picture of perfection. So I'm just not really going to bother. Right, and that's the piece I was picking up on.
Yeah.
So what are we measuring against, and can we measure against our own self?
I have a good personal story of that struggle in almost two areas. So the first one was, a lot of people watching might know that my background originally was more in the yoga scene.
Yeah.
So I had a few years of the gym when I was in university and college, and then in my 20s, it was basically like yoga exclusively, and that kind of over time, calisthenics and bodyweight training came in, and then it kind of took precedent as I got into my sort of like mid to late 20s. But during the yoga time, I'm a guy that's naturally 6'2", naturally sits somewhere between like 85 and 90 kilos. I was, whatever people say, there is a significant competitiveness within the yoga industry. Everyone likes to tell you how it's not about that, but it seriously exists, especially in the type of yoga I was doing, which was like Ashtanga yoga. The guys that were very, very, very capable were typically much more petite framed. Now, I had it in my head that I could just basically like lose that weight in order to access this more advanced way of moving. And you could also mirror that with, say, a gymnast, right? No, there's no gym, as far as I'm aware, no elite gymnasts are 6'2" and 90 kilograms. No. They might look absolutely jacked on the camera, and they are,
but they're like 5'8".
But they're compressed. Yeah. So to that 5'8" guy, you can actually look insane.
Yeah.
Because you've got less surface area to work with.
Hey.
And you're going to get stronger quicker as well. Which there is a second part to this story. So during that phase, I was thinking, right, if I lose weight, then that's going to open up some of those abilities for me and make me better. At the same time, I was doing a bit of modeling as well. And again, 6'2", fine in modeling. 90 kilograms, not so good. Can't fit into a jacket.
Yeah.
I got down to 77 kilos.
Wow.
I was literally like paper thin skin at that point, absolutely like shredded. It wasn't actually that hard, so I don't want to say I was like starving myself or anything.
Right.
There was a level of restriction, but still didn't fit into the jacket. I was still a 44 shoulder because my shoulders. So it made no difference there. Didn't make me any better at yoga because I was still the frame was still there. So it didn't actually make a difference. So I was striving to be this person that was beyond my genetic capabilities.
There we go.
So like you can build muscle and you can lose fat, but like there is a frame element that still exists. And the second part of that, which I kind of touched on there, is being in London Fields with the calisthenics guys, and these guys that were doing flips around the bars, back flips, holding front levers for like a minute. Yes, they were amazing and they were strong, but they were also a foot shorter or half a foot shorter. Leverage is angles and you know, it's physics, right? The longer the spanner, the more force. So if you're shorter, it's less force and you're more likely to be able to do these cool movements, whether it is yoga or whether it is calisthenics. So there's whoever you are, like there's always someone to compare yourself against. There's the 5'8" guy going, I wish I was 6'2" and 90 kilograms. But then equally there's that guy, me, going, I wish I was smaller so I could do these cool things.
Yeah, man. And then what are we doing? And then we've got the comparison to ourselves. Like you hear guys going, oh, I used to play football all the time. When was that? Oh, at college. You were 43, bro. That was 21 years ago. And you're comparing yourself to the guy that played like competitive football at 21 years old. what are you doing? Like, that's not realistic. So,
We hear that a lot though.
yeah. Oh, I used to do this. Cool.
What do you think that's about? Like really
Um,
living, do you think the years just pass so fast when you're busy with work and family and then suddenly you've whipped away, but your mind genuinely still is, it wasn't even that long ago when I was playing football semi-professional. Oh, how long
I
actually was
think
that?
I think you're
Oh
right.
shit,
Like,
it was 20 years.
time does go fast, particularly if you're not appreciating it. So for sure. And then part two is typically if you've been.
I'm just topping up.
Oh
Keep
yeah, more
going.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah.
typically if you've been playing semi-professional football,
Yeah.
which means you're like 20, 21, 22, which means you're probably at your most vital energy. If you're into women, you've probably got a girlfriend or you're quite popular with the women. You're socializing a lot. I'm just talking about this person, this football person.
Yeah.
There's the after parties, there's the celebrations. You're a bit of a hero. It's your prime bit of life. And so it can be, this is what happens to us, we attach our identity to that. You know, I'm the captain of the team, I had all the ladies or whatever, I could run the fastest 100 meters, I scored the most goals. And that's my identity. So like now, you know, when people so often, it's those questions like, tell me about yourself. Oh, and we start with our job, right? So it's like a status thing. So we're attaching our physicality or our nostalgia of these great times. That's me. I'm a semi-professional footballer. That's who I am. It's been 20 years, slightly overweight. I'm married. I haven't played football in 20 years, but that's who I am. Joe Coyne, the footballer.
Do you think when we go through phases where maybe we're so busy and we're caught up in just doing the things that we need to do to move forward and we're not concentrating on our own passions and ourselves, that we kind of just forget about that period and we just still feel like we are the person when we had the time to do the things that we loved all the time, or we were maybe had the time to the right thing, actually prioritizing those things, so that when it comes up in a conversation, the mind automatically reverts to the time when it was how you wanted it to be and when you did feel good and when you felt like your identity was strong and your confidence was high. And the rest is just almost just ignored.
Well, yeah, we don't want to talk about all the hard bits and the bit I didn't work out for 2 years or the bit where I was drinking. We don't want to, certainly don't want to tell anyone else that time, the hard bit or the bit that I wasn't so good. We want to put our best foot forward, our best sort of face on for new people, anyone, right? I'm pretty healthy and I have no bad habits. You're just kidding yourself. I'm not saying you have to tell everyone all your bad habits, but why not just tell people now? And not that anyone ever goes, oh, nice to meet you. What's your workout regime? That doesn't happen. But when you meet someone I get it, and you get it in life, people might see that I'm quite active and they'll be like, oh yeah, I used to run a lot. And I'm like, I don't care.
Do you, well...
But we want to like validate ourselves. Like, I'm part of I'm a runner.
How much like on your side, Joe, obviously anyone who watched a couple of episodes ago, we spoke to Joe about his life and what that all looked like. Let's say a big part of your life for so long was rollerblading, right?
Yeah.
A massive part.
Yeah.
And I assume a massive part of your identity as well.
Yeah, the whole life.
So reflecting on that now, how often do you find you bringing that up in conversation? Like how connected do you feel to that? Because that's basically the same thing. If you were going, if I was like, Joe,
I used to be a semi-pro
we
blader.
need to get in shape, and you were like, well, I used to be semi-pro. Like, as if that has any influence on now. Like,
That's interesting.
How much do you feel you lean on that now, if at all?
So, not very much, and just a few parts there. It's the ego that wants to tell people something about that.
Yeah, sure.
If it ever, and rollerblading isn't cool. Like most people, I don't speak about it or would never need to. If it was maybe I was a semi-pro surfer, I might bring that up more because people get it. So there's that. There's also ego if there are people that know about blading to be like, well, I used to have a magazine and I competed it. And that's just an ego. And the only time that ever comes up is if I've been at the skate park with Avila, and there were some guys there, probably in their late 20s, 30s, that were like rollerblading, like good standard. And I almost wanted to go over and go, hi, do you know who I am? Like I could felt that in my head. Like I used to do this, and I used to have these wheels. And do you know this guy that used to think? And that's the only time. So I suppose that's the similarity. So somebody who wants to be like, yeah, I work out a lot. I used to do handstands.
Yeah.
All right,
It
cool.
seems like it's almost either an ego thing, or it's a, I don't want to say, it's almost like a lack, a purposeful ignorance about the reality of the present.
Well, definitely that, man.
As if it wasn't 20 years ago, and it was like, oh, I was doing this up to yesterday.
Well,
That's kind of the language
that comes out when
comes out.
Yeah, and I think it is that little thing of I really felt good there, and that's like our brain is remembering how good I felt when I was doing that thing and that person I was. So our brain wants to be like, that's what I want to live in, you know. And let's all be. Maybe we touched on this in one of our podcasts. Like, do you ever have those little fantasies about being 25 and just hanging out and working out and going to bed when you want? You don't have to. Those come up.
Yeah.
And so we can live in that if we're not accepting and dealing with our realities.
Yeah.
So there's like you put it really eloquently, but the way I heard it was basically like you were just trying to ignore what's going on right now and live in the past.
And I think if you're having a conversation and you're bringing up what you're struggling with now and how do you want to feel, you naturally, if it does exist, you're going to go back to that time when you felt great.
Yeah.
And that's natural. I think that's cool. And you're trying to then, if you've had a taste of something, you know what it feels like to be in that situation. So you're like, right, how do we get that feeling back? And that's part of the process of figuring that out.
Well, so that was, again, I had this conversation with the client today. It's like, forget wanting to be Jake. And he was talking about his footballing career. I was like, get a photo of you up on your desk where you work out at 25, looking like that vibrant young man. Be that guy. And curious question for you, like, okay, I'm 46 now. I used to play, I didn't semi-professional football till I was 25. I was ripped. I was this lean. I also could lift. Can I ever get that? It's 20 years later. I'm doing all the things. I'm eating good. I'm sleeping. I'm working out. I'm stretching. All the things. Can one ever like reverse time?
Great question. It's kind of a two-sided. On one side, I would say, no, you're never going to get that. But on the other side, I would say you could actually be better, but in a different way. So you're never going to be 20 years old again. That's certain. But actually, the chances are what you were doing back then probably wasn't optimal for actually pure strength, mobility, health, because it was leaning towards a sport, which is actually, sport typically is good for you, but it leans towards more, I will actually sacrifice health in order to be good at the sport.
Yeah.
Which is why sports people push them, they get injured, right? They have to have surgeries because it goes beyond just general actually optimizing health and well-being. So you could actually feel better, be more injury proof, stronger, more mobile, fitter than you were when you were 20, at 45, at 50 years old, definitely.
Yeah.
But you won't ever be that body that you were then.
Yeah.
Because your life's different and you're older.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't hold you back because you can be better. And we've seen that with clients. We've seen clients in their 60s that are literally absolutely shredded and look insane. And they say, I haven't felt like this since I was 20 years old.
Yeah. So beautiful answer, man. I think that's it. We can't be chasing this old version of our life. And like, just to throw in this, like, that's when I see people leave their partners in their 40s for a younger person, because they're like, oh no, and that's some whole nother topic. But they're chasing being the 25-year-old version of freedom and maybe lots of sex because that's what you did, and this young hot person that just wants to have fun. That come on, man. It's like, I use the term lost boys. We get lost in that kind of era. And if we're not careful, we can look back and use that as motivation. But if we're trying to chase that entire life, it's not going to work. So the motivation to be like, oh, wow. And I think about this sometimes, man, about, I guess, it'd be 10 years ago, because my brother's kids are like 12 now. I remember being at before we had children, and I was 10 years younger. Family barbecue, and I would just be in the garden for the whole time playing with these kids, climbing on me, throwing them around, like da 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 da. And I remember like a year or so ago after my knee injury, I was like, I watched some videos of it. I was like, I can't do that. So I want to be that guy. And so it's like we can use it as motivation. I want to be able to have the energy to roll around the garden, to move down on my knees, da 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 da. But I'm not. I also don't think I'm going to reverse time.
Yeah, this I really love this topic, and we should lean into this because it's so interesting. And to be completely frank, I don't have this feeling so much when it comes to health and fitness. That there is very small part of me that yearns for that time where I did 90 minutes yoga in the morning.
Yeah.
I went to the calisthenics park, spent as many hours as I wanted. There is a tiny little bit of me, but also I personally feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been. Maybe I don't look quite as good, maybe I'm not as capable, but the way that it fits with my life and the balance.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing lots of volume and stuff, you do get injured.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing all that stuff, maybe I looked better, but my digestion was shit. My joints were always sore. I had tendonitis.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep as good. So there is actually a positive to a more balanced approach in terms of like general health and well-being. But the thing which people can relate to and that you can tie it to fitness if that helps. I always look back at those years and think, shit, I wish I had the business now that I have now. I wish I'd had the motivation, the drive, because even though I've always worked for myself, it was always just, for many, many years, it was just like a means to the end, which obviously meant that my life was skewed towards lifestyle versus work, which I guess you can't really regret that. No. But also, that's a decade extra. It would have been a decade extra of like business building.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I think everyone naturally goes, I wish I could have done or should. Imagine I saved £50 a month when I was 21, all those things, right? With top business or that idea I had and someone else did. And you know what? I really believe in it and I teach it. Like we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And every little decision we made to all that lifestyle time living, created this version of Jake that sat next to me that started this business.
Yeah.
Like a different version of you I wouldn't be sitting here with you. You might not have married Morgan. We might not, do you know what I mean? Like, so there's that. The other thing that came up as you were talking about that was like, so that version of you that does the 90-minute yoga, then 2 hours in the park, and then another nice stretch in the evening. And now we're fathers, 10, 15, 20 years later. When we look back and go, I want to be that version of me, how about just look back and go, how did I schedule or create these spaces in my time? Because we also had a job and you also had other things, and it's different.
Yeah.
But you had some discipline to do those things.
Yeah.
So what can we take with a whole different frame around us now from that 20-year-old version of me and put it in here? Oh, I have better energy in the mornings. Good. Okay, so I should work out in the morning. Whatever it is, right?
I think, a couple of things came up when you said that. I guess the first one is that it's made me reflect on how much like stronger I am as a person now, because I feel like my productivity is 100x what it was then, because I didn't have the pressure to fit things into a schedule because there was so much time.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm still doing the things I was in different areas of my life, it looks different, which is really important, but I'm making it happen within a much more compressed period of time. So the productivity is actually much higher. So that's a massive positive skill to look on. If you're super busy with work, you have family commitments, you want to be in shape and you're kind of figuring that out, you need to be well proud of yourself because you're operating at a high level to fit that all in.
100%.
And I think that's the reason, you might follow a 20-year-old who can train 3 hours a day, doesn't have a partner, doesn't have kids. And that's great, like good for them.
Yeah.
But in terms of them understanding like the challenges of your life, it's not the same.
No.
The other thing that came up was, what did come up?
Around what we're taking, what the positives we're taking from when we were younger?
Yeah.
Or was it
I think
scheduling? Was it the version we want to be?
I don't think I wasted so much time back then as well.
Yeah.
I didn't make time count, and it's almost basically just saying the reverse of what I've just said. But I think it's important to recognise both and the fact that even though life might feel really hard right now, if you're watching this and you haven't taken action on our realm, life feels really busy. It feels like you've got so much responsibility. You feel like you haven't got time. You can also reflect and look at what skills you've developed living that life compared to what you did when you were 20. Because I know for a fact, like, I wasted a shit ton of my day. And whilst I can look back on that and with nostalgia and maybe a bit of desire and go, I wish I had all that time, I also, if I was living those days now, I'd probably look back on a lot of those days and like, man, I wasted my day. I wish I'd done more.
Oh man.
Whereas I don't feel that as much now because I do feel like
I don't have
trying
any.
to make every second count.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Yeah, the amount of wasted time. The amount of wasted time.
Huge.
Probably, I wonder what you could. I would say I'd probably waste a minimum of 3 hours a day, probably in those
Back
days.
then?
Yeah, minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah, sometimes
Minimum.
an entire weekend of
Yeah.
like lounging around, smoking weed, and watching movies or video gaming in my 20s or whatever we were doing. Like days.
Yeah.
Days of it. And then it's interesting, as you mentioned blading earlier, like the amount of time we spent skating. Was that wasted? Like, or if you measure it on a criteria, we've talked about this a few times, of like success now, yes, it's wasted. I wasn't making any money. I wasn't like, okay, I was getting in shape actually.
Yeah.
But I certainly wasn't making
It was
money.
joyous though.
It was joyous and fun.
Definitely don't see that as wasted time.
Yeah, it was just like, I remember being told at the time, you're wasting your time. And I'm like, wait, I'm with people, my friends, I'm outside, I'm practicing a skill, I'm physically in shape. Pretty good use of time.
I think when I look back on that time and I talk about, say, I wish I'd started my businesses then, or this business, or I wish I'd had the knowledge I had now, all that shit. The regret is I had so much time then. I wish I'd made more use of it.
Yeah.
And what was that waste of time? It wasn't the 3 hours in the calisthenics.
No.
It wasn't the 90 minutes yoga. It was took 4 hours to do a task that could have taken 30 minutes because I was procrastinating, watching TV.
Crap telly.
Yeah, it's just shit that's like useless.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you shouldn't watch a movie once in a while, but for all these things, there's a line where it goes over.
Well, it's intentional. I'm watching a movie now because I've had a busy day. It's raining. Let's watch a movie. We both went to the cinema separately on Saturday because it was pissing down.
Which was bloody great.
Great. Well. What did you watch?
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, that is great.
It was so good.
Smurfs was rubbish. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I fell asleep. Anyway, it's intention, right?
Yeah.
Like it's been a long trip. We've just got back. It's movie night, and we're having pizza because no one could be arsed to cook. Great, wicked. Mm-hmm. And the other thing there, I just wanted to say this because I think it just kept coming up for me. Like the one thing I think from my 20s that I wished, and we're not experts, is I had more understanding of money. So the money I did make, I wish I knew that I could put it somewhere. I wish I knew it would do this. Like if I put £20 a month 20 years ago, in like a 0.00, you know what I mean? And no one teaches that.
Especially when you start understanding about compound interest and what that extra decade could have done.
Which is great as fathers, because I'm doing that for Apollo and Avila now.
You'll teach them.
And we've started, as best next time is now than yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So we can start teaching them. But it's not taught to me anyway. It's not certainly a school subject, and it's not even, unless you do finance, it doesn't ever come up.
No.
And your parents might know some things and suggest you start a savings account. And you're like, why? I want to buy some beer. Yeah, it doesn't, there's no like...
But then I think there's also, my parents made sure I had a savings account and stuff, but I don't know if it was a generational thing or anything, but their mindset and the only narrative I ever heard was the best place for your money is in some interest in a bank. Whereas there's an argument to say there should be some money in that because it's accessible. Well, in fact, savings accounts aren't even always accessible. The ones that actually have a decent interest.
Yeah.
But there was never any talk of like index funds, stocks, like ISAs, those sort of things. So I don't know if that was a generational thing of that being safe and those other things being dangerous when they're not really dangerous.
Probably, and also like who would have taught them? And then, as you're a bit younger than me, like now we can see it, we can see these things online and we can learn them ourselves. We're like, oh, these things are the best way. Books are everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And more information.
More information where we know. I mean, I can't remember the name of the guy. The book he's written is "I'll Make You Rich." He's got a great podcast, and he's like, "Don't worry about fancy cryptos. Don't worry about trading and being a day trader. High interest ISA and like a stocks ISA.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Put it in. Forget. But X amount. He's got a formula. X, Y, 30 year. Put it in there. Forget about it.
So it's not.
And that's it.
And that's, I think.
So if we did that 20 years ago, whoa.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's some crazy. Don't quote me on the maths of this, but
We're never great at
let's say for 20 years you put £100 a month in in an index fund.
Yeah.
It would be like hundreds and hundreds of thousands in 20 years' time.
Yeah. That's it.
Why are we not taught that from the second we leave school? Because again, if you can't afford this, you know, I'm not trying to like judge you or like make any comments, but I think most people with the right setup could put £100 a month away.
Well, bro, £25 a month.
£25 a month.
Like,
But
let's
the compound
start
effect of that
There you go.
time in that is so important.
Right.
And we don't get taught it, and it's really, really bizarre. It's almost like they want they want us to fail.
Don't get me started, Jake. You know that's my thing. But the rabbit hole, it's true. That's true. If they taught us how to save money and how to invest properly, we wouldn't be in debt to the credit card companies and the banks who own us, who then own a house, and then we get in debt, and la 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 la. That's the rabbit hole. Seems to be fairly obviously true.
But that's a pretty cool gift to a kid to be able to
Yes, the financial freedom.
Save £100 for your kid a month from the day they're born, and then when they are 25.
I feel like I want to do the maths on this because I feel this is quite exciting, Jake. I've just got the calculator. So let's say
it's quite
£100 a
complicated
month,
because
but I won't do the interest. Let's just say
the average stock market. Oh, you have to do the interest, otherwise it'll be nothing.
If you just saved £100 a month over 20 years, you get 30 grand.
Oh, really?
That's like you buy. Well, who knows what's
So
like in 20 years.
You have to do. The argument is that obviously there's inflation that brings it down, and then also the stock market obviously fluctuates. But the inflation, like whatever. But anyway, you could basically, if they got to 25 and you put £100 a month, you might be able to buy them like a house.
Yeah.
Or you'd definitely be able to put a deposit down.
Decent deposit.
And get them into pay for uni.
A quick note, guys. We're not financial advisors.
Oh yeah, we actually do need to say that.
Yeah, we actually have to do.
So let's just.
But
there was obviously a point to this.
I hear. I've got it, man. So finance. Whoop. What am I doing every month for the 20-year version of me? So I'm living for another 40 years at least, 85, 90. I'll be happy with that. So if I start saving now, by my 3 workouts a week, now.
Yeah.
What's that going to do for me in 20 years' time?
Exactly. And
So
that
that's
is
the principle,
a direct
right?
metaphor for the argument of consistency versus intensity.
Yeah.
If you think about what the trap that most people fall into when they're going from, right, I'm not in shape and I want to make a change, it's intensity. It's, I'm going to join P90X or some crazy intense program where I have to kill myself every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the latest diet in Waterstones where I only eat like chickpeas and lemon juice for a month.
Yeah.
Periods of intensity, then the period where they dip back to old habits. If you did that with money, you would get the same result, which is like very fuck all basically.
Yeah.
If you basically went, I'm going to invest,
spent it.
I'm going to put 10 grand in an index fund and then I'm not going to invest for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to do anything.
Or you've not been smart and you get the new shiny thing, a crypto coin, and look, there's arguments that some of that's great, but some weird altcoin and you're like, well, you're going to make 25x, bang, oh, it's gone, fuck.
Yeah.
Or you've made a bit and then it's gone. It's these flashy, exciting things only work for a minute. We talk about this all the time, hey?
Yeah.
It's also, I feel like there's a piece here about the consistency raises the floor, right? Mm-hmm. Which we talk about a lot. And by doing the thing, when we do fall off, we fall further back. So I mentioned a few weeks ago, I was just like, with all the travel and a bit sick, it was just like, but because of my years of doing it, I still did something, the nickel and dimes, 5s and 10s, 5 push-ups, 10 squats, 5 whatever.
Yeah.
My floor was higher based on my 20 years of movement. So if we don't have that floor, like what's our fallback? Well, nothing seems to be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've done CrossFit, I hurt my back, I hate CrossFit, it's shit. There's no point working out. and then we put our 10 kilos back on.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
no, I work twice as hard for the
And
next
that's
thing.
such an important point because it's not really the peaks or what we call the ceilings that make the big difference in the long term. It's actually that floor. It's the baseline. It's like what do you fall to? What does the worst day look like? The
Yeah.
worst week, the worst month, the busiest week, whatever
Yeah.
the period. Because if it's constantly fully on or fully off, you're going to really struggle to actually move forward. Where we see it with investing, with compound interest, that steady, unsexy, basic daily action actually is the thing that in the long term, in 10
Right.
years, in 20 years, makes the biggest difference. And it's exactly the same in fitness. And it's not to say you can't still go, oh, I'm going to book in a marathon and train extra hard, or I'm going to train an hour a day for this month. You can still do that, but it's about going, what happens? It's not that mindset of that's over now, so I'm going to go back to doing nothing.
That's it. And you see the guys that are, it's interesting, you know, a lot of our clients re-sign, they sign up for 3 or 6 and then they stick around. It's actually the guys that are pretty good that seem to stick around because they know that in their past they've fallen off. They're doing the workouts. I'm not hassling them loads. They're doing their things. We make some changes, but they know themselves. So it's this piece about knowing yourself and go, I've tried these things before. I've tried this diet, exercise fads. I need to have somebody just to keep an eye on me. I need to have somewhere easy I can go and go, what am I doing today to move forwards? And it's so easy. It's really, really difficult. I don't know the numbers. I'd probably say there's like 4% of humans can do this thing on their own. Like to like look after themselves, to know how to work out what their body needs. It takes a lot of work to do that on your own.
Yeah.
And I'm not even
it's
saying
true.
you need to have a mentor or a coach, but maybe some friends that are on the same journey as you.
100%.
Like,
and
just
some people find it easy in certain. This isn't just about fitness, right?
No,
as well,
no.
like some people, there's going to be a percentage of the population that do have the fitness thing locked down, and it just comes easy to them. But then they might need this. I'm guessing basically talking for myself right now.
Yeah.
Fitness easy.
Yeah.
Business, I need help. I need some
Yeah.
people around me.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily lack of knowledge. A lot of people come to join Vibrant People who have a lot of knowledge. So it's not even a lack of knowledge. It's sometimes just about that reassurance that you've got people, you've got a team around you of people that have got your best interests at heart, that you can ask questions to, you can stay accountable to.
Yeah.
And
see different perspectives than the ones we miss.
exactly.
Like if we're like looking over here, well, what's over here? Well, you know, that's what with all the men's work, it's like having people around you that can spot these things for you. Hey man, I noticed you're not doing this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess, yeah, we just went off on a little...
It's easy to let yourself down.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell yourself like, oh, I'm too tired today, I'm too busy, I'm going to start on Monday, I'm going to start next week. This is a great one. I'm going to start after summer.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to start
when the
after
kids go back,
Christmas.
I'll have more time.
So just constantly pushing it back. Whereas if you have got skin in the game, you've got a team around you, you've got someone to answer to. This isn't even drill sergeant vibes, just someone, just the presence of a team of people that have got your best interests at heart.
Right.
You're not going to make those excuses as much.
Well, coming back round to how we started, you're then going to fall back on I used to play professional football. And you'll have that story in that conversation. Oh, my knees are a bit jobby, so I haven't worked out. But I used to lift I used to run Oh, good for you. Like you fall back on that story.
Yeah.
And
which are just more excuses to...
Yeah.
Excuses are just... They're such an interesting thing, and I've never really thought about it so much. It's quite interesting, but they're literally a core component of what we do is to break down excuses.
Yeah.
And the more I think about excuses that's me as well, the excuses that I make, I personally believe that the main role of an excuse is to put a wall up between you and actually facing the reality and taking the action on it. Because I know I do it. If I make an excuse, deep down I know it's because I'm being purposefully ignorant about something that I actually want to do but I haven't done.
Yeah.
And I don't want to face it.
100%. 100%. So we mask it with these excuses, right? Oh, this or that, I'm busy, I'm too da-da-da, it's too much money, I don't have the time, or my knees hurt, or this and that. Yeah, I love it, man. I think we need to bring this to a close, actually.
What are we on?
48.
48.
So how did we even get started? How did
We
this
talked
happen?
about the studio.
Yeah.
We talked about some financial
Yeah.
non-advice.
Yeah, just experience of life.
Comparison with the previous self.
Comparison to the previous self is really big.
I think a lot of what we talked about today was time, really. Not time in the sense of making the time now, but why those longer stretches of time are so important, whether it's going back or going forward. It's the letting go of the past and not being appreciating it, taking the positives, but not living in it, but also looking to the future and what these investments into yourself now can look like.
That's it. And that's where the money came in, right?
That's the point that I was going to make before. The diamond of being able to look back and go, oh, I wish I'd done that, is almost what you said. Well, you can do that for you in 20 years' time right now.
Yeah.
So like you can, if you make the right decisions for yourself today that you want, you can look back in 20 years and not feel like I wish I'd done that. You can feel like I did do that for myself.
Yeah, look at me now.
It's almost like time travel.
Oh, but well, I'll close it with this little exercise for everyone. Yes, yeah. A little exercise for everyone. You know, picture yourself now. This is me. Like, what would the 80-year-old version of you say to yourself when you're going, do I go pick up my skipping rope, or do I just sit back and put another Netflix movie on? What would the 80-year-old, like, use that for any situation in life. What should I do with my kids? What should I do? What would the 80-year-old version? Would he go, yeah, chill, son. Yeah. You got loads of time.
Or what would even the version of you a week say? Because a lot of guys say, oh, I had such good intentions this week. Like people, and then I didn't do it and I feel shitty and I keep repeating that cycle. So.
Yeah. You just talk to yourself. Again, nobody else. You don't need anyone else to compare it to, just yourself. And then what would the 17-year-old version of yourself say to you? Like, you're looking a bit chubby, buddy, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, you're being lazy, man. Why aren't you out skating all the time? That's it. Yeah, okay. Might not be skating, but it's, you know. So just these other ends of your own life. Like, look at you at your pinnacle, and then look at you, and maybe you're sat in your chair at 85. What do you want to be? What story are you writing for yourself? No one else is going to write it for you. No one's going to. You can sign up to us. We're not going to make you hang on the pull-up bar. You've got to do that.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
We or someone else can provide tools, the frameworks, the support, but ultimately you are the one that no one can take action for you. Yeah. That's the one thing that you have to do.
There you go. No one's going to save for your future for you. Yeah. Cool. I like these ones. Sorry everyone that voted. You'll get it next time.
Yeah, we've been putting off the vote for a while, but...
Well, we also just got acknowledge that your baby's due in 10 days?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, but could come at any time now.
So
full term soon.
Well, let's maybe try and do a double whammy or next week or something. But get some in the bank.
Yeah, I'm sure I can take an hour at some point too. I'm committed.
I'm committed to leaving the family alone.
We haven't missed one yet. It's true. The kids are at school as well, so.
Oh yeah, school that's true. So you only have our baby to deal with.
It's not quite as intense.
Yeah, that's true. Good. It's almost like you timed it. Imagine you had a freaking baby in June and you had the kids
summer holidays. But yeah, it's
shout out to parents who are dealing with summer holidays. Yeah. It's my first one. It's hardcore.
It is pretty hardcore.
Shit, I've got to finish up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Much love.
See you soon.
Peace.